More than 8 centuries ago, Native Americans inhabited the area around Lake Jackson, just north of Tallahassee, Florida. There's evidence that the Lake Jackson Indians participated in a southern socio-religious complex known to archaeologists as the Southern Cults, or Southeastern Ceremonial Complex, which flourished around AD 1200. The area was probably the political and religious center for Indians in this location during the period AD 1200 to AD 1500. A society that could develop a site of this type is believed to have had a well-organized political system, with tribal leaders more than likely residing in regional centers like the Lake Jackson site. The entire complex was composed of 7 earthen temple mounds that were part of the village and trading area. There are currently 2 mounds available for viewing by the public. Pottery, stone tools, location, and shape of the existing mounds have been used to identify the age and culture of the site. The site dates back to the Fort Walton period of Florida's history, which is 1000 AD to 1450 AD. The remains of important tribal members have been found at the site. The array of burial objects, including elaborate items such as copper breastplates, shell-beaded necklaces, bracelets, anklets, and cloaks. These exotic artifacts indicate religious and trading ties with other large prehistoric Indian ceremonial centers in the southeastern United States, such as Etowah in Georgia, Moundville in Alabama, and the Duck River in Tennessee. The hike at this state park consists of a 0.75 interpretive trail, which takes you through the mounds, and then a 2.2 mile nature trail, which has 2 parts. One is the Butler Mill Trail, and then the second, on the other side of the parking lot, is the Old Pecan Orchard Trail. And honestly, that orchard trail is more of an afterthought. The have-tos at this location, if you go to the state park, is you have to do the interpretive trail and see the mounds, and then you need to do the Butler Mill Trail. Well worth it. You won't be disappointed.
All right, so we're on the trail now. It's a nice trail, nice and wide. Got little metal plates that tell you about trees like the sweet gum tree. I'm sure there'll be others on the trail. I think this is a 2.2 mile hike. The mounds were pretty impressive, especially the big one standing on top of that. And of course, the history is very neat. So it's a nice, cool afternoon. The sun is behind the clouds. And I sure hope the trail stays like this. This is really nice. This is a nice trail up on a ridge. I think this is a loop. It's going to come back out to the parking lot, and then there's another loop on the other side. But anyway, I mean, we're in Tallahassee, right? Go Knowles. Just felt like I had to visit these Indian Mounds for that, if nothing more. Since my bride is a Florida State alumnus, so this was fitting to come out here and commune with some of her people.
In the early to mid 1800s, this particular land was part of a 500-acre plantation owned by Colonel Robert Butler. He's the one that made the earthen dike. He made it to be able to pool a lot of water for irrigation purposes. He also made a grist mill that you'll see here in a second, at least signs of what used to be the spot where the grist mill was located. But this particular part of the trail is very beautiful, very interesting. It's a ravine forest, so it's unique. Unlike across the parking lot, when you get to the Old Pecan Orchard Trail, it's more of an upland pinelands area, so it's high and dry, and it's just not nearly as interesting. There's still several trees that will catch your attention and some things to see, so if you're looking for mileage, make sure you still do the Old Pecan Orchard Trail, but it's just not nearly comparable to the beauty of this part on the Butler Mill Trail, so make sure you enjoy that.
This little trail popped out on a gas pipeline for a minute, and now here we go, heading back into the woods. I've probably already said this because I've been overwhelmed by them, but the one constant of the day, one of the key words that I'll remember from this day and these 3 hikes is huge trees. Amazingly beautiful trees. Each location had some that would just, I don't care how good of a pace you were going, it'd just stop you in your tracks and you'd have to look at them, just look up at them. And the height, I know cameras can't do it justice, but not only are they just huge around girth, but their height is just amazing. Oh, and by the way, I just went through something that was the most aromatic fragrance I've ever smelled in my life outside. I never could put my eyes on what it was, but it was the most amazing smell. At first I thought I'd want to eat that. And then I thought, no, it just smells so wonderful. I just want to smell it. It was awesome. Okay, so got a goldenrod. That's not good to me. Allergies, so let's go turkey scratch. That's better. I'm just gonna have to video this one real quick. These branches go so far out. Look at all those main beams off the trunk. Unbelievable. Huge.
This hike ended up being a 3-mile hike, had 115 feet of elevation gain. Took me an hour and 8 minutes. Of the 3 hikes today, I would have to say I'm leaning toward my favorite being the McClay Gardens 11-mile hike. It was just easier to navigate, less thinking for me to have to do compared to the Phipps Park early in the morning. It was just a little bit confusing out there with a lot of trails and signage that was just not super clear. But this particular hike was something I'm happy to have gone on, especially the first 2 parts of it. Very enjoyable.